Good afternoon, students. Today we are discussing the revision of the lower extremity. We know already everything about the bones. See, first is we are discussing the hip bone. Hip bone. See here, first of all, you should know the identification of the bone. In the examination, we are asking hold the hip bone. Sometimes we are asking directly what is this bone. So, if you are asking in the examination, you should hip bone. If you hold the hip bone only, don't hold the tibia, don't hold the fibula, don't confuse to all this. So first of all, you identify the identification of the bone. So this is the hip bone. Next is what are the parts. So you should know the parts of the hip bone. One is three parts are there. One is the first of all, the center point is the acetabulum. Above the acetabulum, we can identify it is a fan shape. The wide, that is the ilium. Next is the anteroinferiorly. We can identify this is the pubis bone, and posteriorly we can identify the ischium. Ischial tuberosity is there, ischial bone. So three parts: ilium, pubis, and ischium is there. This is the acetabulum. Next, the ilium. You first above, you have the two ends are there, superior end and inferior end. This inferior end going to reach to the formation of the acetabulum. This is the acetabulum, part 2/5 of the acetabulum. So here important question viva expecting. First one is the iliac crest. This is the iliac crest. It started from the anterior superior iliac spine to goes backwards, reach to the posterior superior iliac spine. So important question from the iliac crest. Only one question expecting. What are the attachments of the anterior superior iliac spine? You should tell sartorius muscle and also inguinal ligament. That is the lateral end of the inguinal ligament. It is attached to the anterior superior iliac spine. Middle end goes to reach to the pubic crest, pubic tubercle. So this is important, very important viva question. Next is the expecting what are the gluteal lines, where it takes the gluteus maximus, medius and minimus. This is the gluteal surface, irregular and convexity. Whereas this iliac fossa, this pelvic surface. Here we are identifying three gluteal lines are there. One is the posterior gluteal line. It extends from the just 5 centimeters in front of this is the posterior superior iliac spine. That line extends downwards and reaches to the greater sciatic nerve. This is the greater sciatic nerve. Next, another one is the we can identify the anterior, that is this is the posterior gluteal line, anterior gluteal line and inferior gluteal line. So here we can identify here another gluteal line is there, anterior gluteal line. Here we can identify above the acetabulum, inferior gluteal line. So from these gluteal lines, first is this the gluteus maximus origin. Between the anterior and posterior and anterior, we can identify the gluteus medius origin. Here above the acetabulum, gluteus minimus muscle origin. So these are questions expecting from the ilium. Next is the pubis. See this acetabulum. Anteroinferiorly we can identify this is the pubic bone. We can identify and expecting here the body is there, superior ramus and inferior ramus is there. So here we are expecting the viva question. What are the attachment of the pubic tubercle? This is the pubic tubercle for the attachment of the medial end of the inguinal ligament. Next here, just blindly you remember this anterior surface gives the origin of the muscles, that is the adductor compartment muscle, medial compartment of the thigh muscles. Blindly you say this here, this surface just below the tubercle and the body. Here we can identify the one is adductor longus, adductor magnus, brevis, gracilis muscle. So the adductor compartment of the all muscle takes origin from this pubis bone. Remember this. Next here the triangular area which is there, superior ramus, we can take the origin of the pectineus muscle. So these are expecting the viva questions from this pubis bone. Next is the ischium. So ischium, the main important, what are the muscles takes origin from this ischial tuberosity. Remember blindly, hamstring muscles takes origin from here. We won't expect where it is exactly here takes the origin, which is the semitendinous. So blindly you remember hamstring muscle. 4 muscles are there. One is the semitendinous, semimembranous, that is adductor magnus, ischial part, biceps femoris. These all 4 muscles takes origin from the ischial tuberosity. Remember this. Ischial tuberosity for the origin of the hamstring muscles, pubic bone for the origin of the that is the adductor compartment muscles, adductor longus, magnus, brevis, gracilis muscle. So remember this. This is pubis bone, this is ischium, This is the ilium. Next, acetabulum. This acetabulum may expect that is the where it is going to articulate this acetabulum. So remember this head of the femur. This is going to articulate like this. Head of the femur going to articulate and to form a ball and socket variety of the synovial joint. This is the ball and socket variety of the synovial joint formation. Next is this pubic bone also it's going to articulate with the other. If this is the left side. So other side also if it is there right side, then the pubic symphysis, the secondary cartilage joints, it forms between the two pubic symphysis. Posteriorly these two articulates with the sacrum. If it is the left side, right side if it is there, is going to articulate the sacral plate to form a. Then automatically this full structure it is known as a pelvic cavity. This cavity protects the pelvic organs like uterus, urinary bladder, rectum, and great important blood vessels present inside of this. Remember this. Next bone is the femur. First identification of the bone is the femur. This is a long bone. Type of bone is a long bone. Three parts are there: upper end, lower end. This is shaft. This is upper end, shaft, and this is the lower end. This upper end always see the head is there, rounded head is there. This is the neck constructed part. This is the greater trochanter. This is the lesser trochanter. See if it is lower end, it is a condyles are there. Middle condyle always, which is facing the head is the middle condyle. This is a middle condyle. This is the lateral condyle. So the shaft having the posterior surface we can identify linea aspera is there. Linea aspera is a very important landmark for holding the anatomical position and side determination. So if you are asking the question like a anatomical position of the femur, you can hold like this. It is not a straight. It is obliquely going towards the middle side. This is the anatomical position. Which side it is there? It is belongs. So it is the right side. How? Head is always facing towards the middle side. This is going to articulate with this acetabulum to form a ball and socket variety of the synovial joint. This is one part. So upper end is correct. Lower end is expanded. It is also correct. But the linea aspera, if I am holding like this, linea aspera is facing anteriorly. It is not belongs to this left side. So if I am keeping like this, if I am keeping the left side like this, what I mean? Lower end is correct. Linea aspera is correct. But the head of the femur, it is not. It is going to articulate to the lateral side. So it is wrong. So now you keep the right side. Head is okay. It is facing towards the middle side. Linea aspera is there posteriorly. Two condyles are there. So this is the right side femur. So important questions. Here the greater trochanter. What are the muscles attached to the greater trochanter? Gluteal region muscles all. Gluteal region muscles all going to inserted here. See apex of this greater trochanter for the insertion of the piriformis muscle. Just below we can identify the obturator internus. Just below the trochanteric fossa, two gemellus, superior gemellus, inferior gemellus, obturator externus. So next, and also greater trochanter anterior surface, gluteus medius, gluteus minimus for lateral side, and posteriorly just below this here we can identify that is the gluteal tuberosity. So maximum gluteal region muscles, short muscles, and all muscles takes insertion to the greater trochanter. Whereas here the lesser trochanter is there. This lesser trochanter for the floor of the femoral triangle muscles like iliacus, psoas major, and pectineus muscle. So remember, that is a lesser trochanter for the floor of the femoral muscles, femoral triangle muscles, iliacus, psoas major, and pectineus muscles. These three are going to insert here the lesser trochanter, whereas the greater trochanter for the gluteal region muscles. Remember, this may expect the viva question. What are the attachments of the greater trochanter? What are the attachments of the lesser trochanter? Remaining we want asking. Next is here this is our two condyles. So where it is going to articulate? These two condyles going to articulate with the two condyles of the tibia. And in front here we can identify the patella is there. So actually it is a hinge joint. So according to functions like it is doing the flexion and extension only, but when doing the fully extended, that time medial condyle it rotates, lateral condyle it rotates the middle side. Next is that time we can identify rotation like a lateral rotation and medial rotation. So the two condyles are articulates with the condyles of the tibia. So that's why it is called the condylar variety of the synovial joint. And if it is a patella, these articulates with this articular surface that form a saddle variety of the joint. So saddle variety of the joint and condylar and hinge variety. So that's why we are calling this the compound joint. The knee joint is a compound joint. So we are expecting here. So one question: medial condyle, there is a adductor tubercle is there. This is the adductor tubercle. This is very very important until medical legal cases also. This is the only one secondary ossification center that is ossified in the intrauterine life. That is the 9th month. So this is only the one secondary ossification centers present in the intrauterine life. Next, here this is the popliteal surface. Just above the condyles, epicondyle area, this is the medial condyle. Medial head of the gastrocnemius takes origin, and lateral condyle above, lateral head of the gastrocnemius as well as above plantaris muscle also takes origin. So medial head of the gastrocnemius from the medial condyle above, lateral head of the gastrocnemius from the lateral condyle above. So this is important, the condyles of this. So remember this. This is the femur. Next is the another bone, tibia. Important. This identification of the bone is the tibia. It is a long bone. It having the upper end, lower end. This is shaft. So upper end mainly they are asking here. Here what are the attachments of the condylary area and intercondylar tuberosity. So you know that this is a cruciate ligament, and lateral side, lateral menisci is articulates and placed here. Sorry, this is the medial side. This is medial menisci is covered to this medial condyle of the tibia. Lateral side, lateral condyle. This is a rounded. This is the oval shaped menisci is there. And between these two surfaces, we can intercondylar area is there. Intercondylar area. In front of the intercondylar area, anterior cruciate ligament takes attached from here and goes backwards obliquely, reach to the lateral condyle. See here, this is the lateral condyle, medial surface. Lateral condyle, medial. This anterior cruciate ligament, it takes attached from the intercondylar tuberosity. From here, it crosses obliquely, going towards the lateral condyle and medial surface. Same thing, and also posterior to the intercondylar area here, posterior cruciate ligament takes attached from here, goes towards the middle side and attached to the lateral surface. See, this is a medial condyle, this is the lateral surface of the intercondylar notch. So these two ligaments are crossing to each other. Anterior goes to the lateral side, posterior goes to the medial side. So these are crossing. That's why this is called the cruciate ligaments. Next is the attachment. May expecting here. So posteriorly we can identify the groove is there. Groove for the semi-membranous. Medial condyle having the posteriorly, there is a groove for the semi-membranous is there. Next, middle condyle, anterior surface just little middle to this. This is the tibial tuberosity. This tibial tuberosity for in attachment of the that is a patellar ligament is going to attach to here. Medial to this patellar ligament or the tibial tuberosity here, three muscles going to insert is forming like a gyropes muscles, three muscles. Remember this gyropes muscles, three muscles. It takes origin different, like a one is sartorius muscle is there. So S, G, S, T. Just above, above S, sartorius, G, gracilis, T, S, T means simultaneous. S, sartorius takes origin from the iliac bone, anterior superior iliac bone. G, gracilis from the pubis bone, and also ST, simultaneous takes origin ischial tuberosity. So these three muscles takes origin from the three bones, parts of the hip bone, but going to inside the medial surface, anteromedial surface of this tibia upper end. So this is called and also called the three gyropes muscles. Next, posteriorly we are expecting. What is this line? This is the soleal line. Which muscle takes origin? That is the soleus muscle takes origin from this soleal line. Above, triangular area, smooth area is there for the popliteus muscle. Popliteus muscle going to inserted there. These are expecting from this upper end. Lower end, where it is going to articulates. This is going to articulates with this. This is a thallus. See, these are tarsal bones. This is a thallus bone. This is going to articulates with this like trochlear surface of the thallus. Here also see inferior surface, trochlear surface, smooth surface is there. This is going to articulates with this. So automatically what happens? This is going to this is called the medial malleus, always facing medial side. Next it is the lower end where it is going to articulates with this the medial malleus. This medial malleus is going to reach to the medial surface. There is a comma shaped facet is there. There is a comma shaped facet is there. This is a comma shaped facet. This medial malleus goes to reach to the this medial malleus, and whereas the lateral side thallus there is a triangular facet is there. This triangular facet for this fibula. This fibula going to articulates with this thallus lateral side, and tibia going to articulates with the medial side. Like this it will form a ankle joint. Which type of joint? Ankle joint. That is a hinge variety of the synovial joint. It will make a only dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. So here we are expecting like what are the tendons crossing medial to this medial malleus. So tibialis posterior tendon crossing just below this medial malleus, and also we can identify the extensor. Flexor hallucis longus, flexor digitorum longus tendons are, and also posterior tibial artery and tibial nerve. These are the blood vessels and nerves. Tendons are crossing just below this medial malleus. Those structures are crossing here and reach to the medial surface of the foot and enter into the plantar surface and going to insert the tendons, the insertion, and blood vessels after become it is called the plantar artery. Nerve become a plantar, now going to supply to the plantar surface of the foot. Next, what is the anatomical position? How to hold? See, upper end it is expanded, lower end is the medial malleus. This shin, that is a border, anterior border is very sharp. So you hold like this, upper end and lower end, medial malleus always keeping the middle side. So the anterior border is there, anteriorly sharp, whereas otherwise posteriorly soleal line is there. That is the posterior. So you can always keep the posterior. If you are holding like this, what happens? Soleal line is there, anterior border is there, superiorly expanded contents are there, but what happened? Medial malleus is facing lateral side, so that's why it is not belongs to the left side. So if you are keeping the middle side, what happened? Expanded part is there, condyles and shin, that border is there, anteriorly, posteriorly the soleal line is there, and lower end medial malleus facing towards the medial side. So now this bone belongs to the right side. Remember this is the tibia. Next is the, from here we are expecting only one question. So fibula identification. Next to there is a neck head below, we can identify the neck is there. Neck is crossed, which now is crossing from the neck of the fibula. This we are expecting the one very important viva question. So you should tell the common peroneal nerve cross to the neck of the fibula. So this is very important. Next to lower end, here we can identify the triangular facet is there. This triangular facet going to articulates with the triangular facet of the thallus. Part of the ankle joint formation is there. Next to another question we are expecting, what are the tendons crossing to this lateral malleus? Two tendons are crossing. One is the peroneus longus, another one is the peroneus brevis. These two tendons are crossing from the lateral malleus. So next is the triangular facet where it is articulates. This is going to articulates with the thallus. Next another question, which nerve is crossing from the neck of the fibula? That is the common peroneal nerve. Is it, sometimes they may expect the another question, is it following the law of ossification? You should tell it is not following the law of ossification. According to the law of ossification, which center, ossifical center appear first, that ossified last. But here, which center appears first, that center only the ossified first. That's why it is violated. It is not following the law of ossification. This is the fibula and also called the modular bone. Next is the last is this is the foot bone, foot skeleton. Here we are calling the tarsal bones. 7 tarsal bones are there. This is the calcaneus. This is the thallus. This is the navicular bone. Here the cuboid bone. 3 cuneiform bones. 3. This is the medial cuneiform. This is the lateral cuneiform. This is the intermediate cuneiform. Next, this is the first metatarsals, second metatarsal, third metatarsal, fourth and fifth. Fifth is very easy to identify. There is a styloid process is there. Styloid process. Next is the 14 phalanges like a proximal distal in the for great toe. Whereas here the proximal distal intermediate, proximal distal intermediate, proximal distal intermediate, proximal distal intermediate. These are the 14 phalanges, 5 metatarsals and 7 tarsals are there. See, remember, this is the largest tarsal bone. First largest tarsal bone is the calcaneum. It having the see here we can identify the medial tubercle and lateral tubercle is there. This medial tubercle for the give the attachment or origin for the plantar aponeurosis, and first layer muscles abductor hallucis brevis, abductor digitorum minimi. Next is the flexor digitorum brevis. Those three muscles takes origin from the here. This is the here, and also important sustentaculum thalli below silk-like projection is there. It is always facing towards the medial side. So this is indication of this which side belongs to this calcaneum. Sometimes they ask in question. Sometimes which tendon is crossing from this below the sustentaculum thalli. There is a groove formation. There is a tendon ligament is attached from here. From here we can identify the flexor digitorum. Longest tendon is crossing from here. Next, another second largest bone is this is the thallus. Thallus having the head is there, rounded head, neck is there, constricted part. This is the body, and posteriorly we can identify tubercles, lateral tubercle, medial tubercle. This is the body having the superior smooth surface, that is the trochlear surface. This is going to articulate with the inferior surface of the tibia like this. Next, it having the two facets are there. Middle side comma shaped facet. This is a comma shaped facet for the articulation with this medial malleolus. Next, whereas here lateral surface we can have triangular facet is there. This is for the triangular facet of the fibula. This is going to articulate like this to form a part of the ankle joint. Next, here from here the neck of the thallus and sustentaculum region, here we can identify the spring ligament going to attach. Spring ligament that is give the like a shock absorber type when you are standing and jumping. That time below this thallus we can identify subtalar ligament. This is also called the subtalar ligament. That is a spring ligament going to attach to here. Next, there is this is the only one muscle. There is no muscular insertion. There is no muscular insertion of this thallus. Next, anterior to this head, rounded head, going to articulate with the navicular bone. Navicular bone having the posteriorly concavity surface that is going to articulate with the head of the thallus to form a thallonavicular joint. Thallonavicular joint is there. Ball is there, socket is there. Next, and towards the lateral side we can identify the cuboid bone is the cube-like shape. Here, this is going to posteriorly articulates with the anterior surface of the calcaneocuboid joint. Here it will form a calcaneocuboid joint. This is the anterior surface of the calcaneum going to articulates with the posterior surface of the cuboid bone. But whereas the anterior surface, this cuboid bone going to articulates with the fourth and fifth metatarsal bones. Next, whereas here towards the middle side, this navicular bone posteriorly articulates with the head of the thallus, but anteriorly this navicular bone going to articulate with the three cuneiforms: medial cuneiform, intermediate cuneiform, and lateral cuneiform. These three cuneiforms going to articulate with the that is anterior surface of the navicular bone. Next, the three cuneiforms going to articulate anteriorly with the first metatarsal, second and third metatarsal. So three cuneiforms articulate this is the head of this three metatarsals, whereas the cuboid bone articulates the fourth and fifth metatarsal bones like this. Next, here also we can identify the 14 phalanges are there. But important question from you, we are expecting only just to name the tarsal bones. How many tarsal bones are there? Name it. At least you should tell where is the cuboid bone. You can show that cuboid bone this. Where is the navicular bone? You can say this is the navicular bone, sir. Show me the calcaneum. This is the calcaneum, sir. So where it is going to articulates with the thallus. This is going to articulates with the inferior surface of the tibia, inferior surface of the fibula. So it will form that is a hinge variety of the ball. That is hinge variety synovial joint. That is the ankle joint. So this is the lower extremity skeleton we are discussing, and this is for the revision. So remember this. We have completed this the lower extremity all bones. So remember, for this for the coming examination, that is the first internal examination is there. For Viva, we are expecting what we are discussed now. Thoroughly you read and come to attend this osteology Viva. Thank you.